Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and this weekend I was putting some things together. I had to put together a table. I hate, by the way, putting things together. I was putting together a table that my wife had bought, but while I was doing all this stuff, I was watching all kinds of texts and things come through about what was going on in like the Ethereum free pass and all kinds of stuff. And so I was sitting there retweeting it, but I wish I could have been sitting at my computer doing another video because there was so much coming through, but here's that video. I had to put those that table together and some other things, and I can't stand it. Okay, but first I want to remind you, one of my sponsors is Kava Network, at Kava_platform. Go give them a follow. 450 plus winners, $250,000 prize pool for their Kava 10 giveaway. It starts on May 26th. So they've got a whole write-up on it, so go check that out. I'll put this at the top of the description of this video. Now, check this out. Binance's Luna investment, which peaked at $1.6 billion, now worth $3,000. That would make you want to throw up, would it not? And I asked the question, is this why XRP is so dangerous to list while Luna is safe? I'm asking the CEO of Binance, and Binance. It's perfect. They relisted Luna, but XRP is still too dangerous to list. And by the way, I just bought the XLM dip again this morning. I've bought, let's see what, in the last week, I've been buying a lot of the things. I bought some XRP on the dip, some XLM on the dip. I bought some physical silver. I bought some gold on Glint. I bought some Masterworks, and I did all of this because I didn't invest more than I could afford to lose, and I kept a great cash cushion just in case something like this happened. This is how the people like Warren Buffett make tons of money, is that they're always positioned, so if something like this happens, they're scooping things up. This is the way. That's a quote from, what's that show I watch on Disney Plus? The Mandalorian. I love that show, and the new one, the Boba Fett. My 9-year-old's been watching that with me. This is the way. Okay, and then there was this. Luna Foundation has disclosed they sold 80,000 Bitcoin reserves for UST between May 8th and 10th. Unbelievable. Now, CoinDesk, I'm very suspicious because both CoinDesk and CNBC, it's almost like they were helping to sell this narrative about how these stable coins are risky. It's almost like they threw the ball up so the SEC and the regulators could come in and dunk it, folks. You watch this and you tell me. Watch their dialogue after this Do Kwon guy talks. Watch.
Do you eventually see algorithmic stablecoins like Terra surpassing the market cap of, say, Tether and the use of Tether?
It's close to 10 billion now, so it only has to 7x, right?
And what is your outlook for 2022?
Year, so I think we'll get there.
Lawrence, thank goodness they didn't get any bigger. I mean, I just remember seeing how they were gaining in market cap and thinking, oh my gosh, if this explodes like, the academics and experts say that it will, it's going to cause a lot of losses for just ordinary folks. So what are some of the lessons learned?
Lot of losses. People that put all their money look, people, sadly, we talk about doing your own research and things like that. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't have the skill set to do their own research. They're not academics.
See, you don't have the skill set to do your own research, which is why the regulators need to protect you.
They're not,
especially when there's so much misinformation out there.
You're too stupid. The truth is, without this, look, Bernie Madoff was working in a regulated market, folks. he was a fraudster, and so even the SEC couldn't protect you from him. If there are illegalities going on, that you can't be protected by. The SEC is not going to save you from that. They might say they're going to, but I can point to something that sure looks like fraud that we've been pointing to for over a year that they haven't even lifted a finger to try to protect you from. We'll show you more of that in a minute. Let me move along. First, there's this. Meanwhile, based on what library says, they're lying to your face about come in and see us, right? Remember this? This is Valerie Chapinick. My understanding is that she runs the FinHub at SEC. Come in and see us. Well, let me refresh that so you can see it.
Those communications are very important, and they're ongoing right now. Through my organization and the FinHub, we're having, and continue to have meetings with stakeholders, and I would encourage those stakeholders to continue coming in and speaking with us about how they're operating and how they want to operate and how they can maintain the high standards of investor protection and market protection that we have currently with a new system. And I think through those conversations, we maybe can figure things out.
Okay, so you just come in and talk to us, and we can help you figure things out. And I was asking Library and Jeremy Kaufman if the SEC helped them figure things out. Library responded. They said, SEC has literally never answered a single question about how we can legally interact with LBC cryptocurrency. They did laugh in our face several times rather than answer. Okay, and then there's this. If you're a crypto startup project, please follow JW Verret advice below. Do not talk to this agency without lawyering up first. He says, if this unit contacts you, do not speak to them without contacting counsel first. Their institutional incentive is not to protect investors. It is to bring a strike suit and use leverage to get a big fine. They don't care if investor value gets destroyed as a result. Isn't that how you and me as XRP holders have been treated? They haven't given a rat's behind. Joseph Grunfest even told Jay Clayton how it would hurt you and me if he sued Ripple. But he did it anyway because he didn't care about that. It was the fine that they care about. Now check this out. John Deaton put this out this weekend. Look at this, folks. He says, this was provided to me, and he copied me and Brad Kahn's Digital Perspectives in. Check this out. So this is an organizational structure that I guess came from some SEC documentation is what I'm assuming. It shows their organizational structure. Notable omissions, I think somebody added this, notable omissions from the email distributions of the Hinman speech. When that Hinman speech was going around, now think about this for a minute, folks. This shows you that there was an attempt to keep this quiet. This shows you, I mean, it's so obvious what's going on here. Look at this. So these are people that never saw a copy of that Hinman speech before he gave it. Now think about this, folks. This Hinman speech, everything in crypto right now, the whole crypto space, the whole reason for Bitcoin and Ethereum having regulatory certainty while everything else does not. This is how they designed it, folks. The whole reason for it is that stupid speech. And they did it intentionally. This was intentional. This was to create a situation where all other digital assets were in purgatory, including Ripple, including XRP. That's what, remember when Brad Garlinghouse went to Jay Clayton? He says, we're in purgatory here. And Jay Clayton's response was, let's get away from talking about XRP. Let's talk about your business. In other words, let us gather some information about your business. Meanwhile, they send Hinman out, but only certain people get to see the speech. Okay? Hester Pierce was not included in the emails going around. Elad Roisman, four commissioners, only Jay Clayton was able to see this speech. Robert Jackson didn't. Kara Stein, the ethics department, which had already warned Bill Hinman. And my question is, had they also warned Jay Clayton? We need to see that Freedom of Information Act. Now, here's the other slide. Individuals, divisions at the SEC that did get to review the Hinman speech Jay Clayton's the only commissioner, and then all of these people, okay? They got to review it, but none of the other commissioners, okay? So then let's look at this thread. So John puts this thread out. He says, do you remember Charles Gasparino's reaction on Twitter live when I told him that crypto mom Hester Pierce did not receive a copy of the Hinman Ethereum Free Pass speech? Jay Clayton was the only commissioner to receive a copy. Here's Hinman's reasoning. He didn't want input from Crypto Mom or Elad Roisman because it might not be worth the delay. Here it is. This is his deposition. I didn't feel like the input was going to be worth the extra delay. So the only commissioner that you cared about was Mr. Clayton. And he says, no, that's not true. Do you know whether Mr. Clayton had a relationship with Clinton? No, I'm not that I'm aware of. These are Hillary Clinton type answers. Not that I'm aware of. I don't recall. These are lawyer trained responses when you don't want to give a real answer. Then it says, did you read the depo above asking about Clayton's law firm from Sullivan Cromwell? I guess the Ripple lawyers are conspiracy theorists as well. Maybe Hinman didn't provide it to Hester or Led or the other commissioners because they might suggest not picking the winners and losers. Now we're over the target, folks. Now look who else is over the target. Eleanor Terrett, remember, she and Charles Gasparino are the only people. Well, I take that back. Rosalind Layton, who's a contributor to Forbes, has been putting the spotlight on all of this. Other than her, Eleanor Terrett and Charles Gasparino are it in the traditional media. CNBC not only won't cover any of this, they hired Jay Clayton they hired him to be a contributor instead of asking him any of these questions. That's how messed up our media is now. Regarding SEC versus Ripple, I think I'm pretty much up to speed now. My biggest takeaways: the whole commission except Clayton was left off the 68 drafts of the Hinman speech. Charles Gasparino and I reported that Clayton actually gave input on the speech before delivery. The Ethics Council, who warned Hinman about his financial conflicts of interest with matters regarding STB, was also left off the email distribution list. Tamara Brightwell was on the email list. At the time, Brightwell was Deputy Chief Counsel at the Division of Corporation Finance, According to the documents obtained by Empower, Hinman deferred to her on screening for conflicts of interest that might involve STB or any other past connections. I reached out to Brightwell to confirm she reviewed the speech. STB, that'll be interesting to find out. STB, as a member of the EEA, pays up to $15,000 a year to have access to exclusive content and contacts in the Ethereum ecosystem. As a member of a former and future firm with these ties, wouldn't Hinman's speech declaring Ethereum not a security and subsequently the price of ETH soaring qualify him as participating personally and substantially in a matter that would have direct and predictable effect on Simpson, Thatcher, and Bartlett? If Hinman didn't catch this, shouldn't someone at the SEC Ethics Department have? It would be interesting to see if SEC responds to Empower requests for an investigation into its ethics officials. You see it, folks? They've been calling us conspiracy theorists for over a year. All we ever did was showed their own arrogant words. Remember, all the lawyers and all the people around this, they thought they had gotten away with this. And some of them that were in the room discussing what became the Ethereum Free Pass, I believe some of them, like Nancy Wotas, that were in that room, were actually working in good faith and then talked about it later, and they were scratching their heads. I think she literally was scratching her heads and had no idea that what was really going on here was the purpose was really to get Bitcoin and Ethereum a free pass and then slam the door. And I think she was pissed after that. I think that's what you see on video when she and the Perkins Coie, Wendy Moore, the Perkins Coie attorney, they said, we don't understand it. So because he said Ethereum's decentralized, well, why not Ripple? Why not XRP? Why is it not decentralized? They were asking those questions because they were pissed when they came out of that room, and they should have been pissed. Now, it's a good time to check in with ProCoinNews.com, who is the official sponsor of the Digital Asset Investor channel, and show you that American crypto and innovation has been under siege because of these three men with major conflicts of interest for 511 days. 5 hours, 49 minutes, and now 6, 7, 8 seconds. Okay? And these are the people, especially this one, Elizabeth Warren, these are the people that are backing them up, these politicians. These aren't the only ones, but these are some of them. Remember to vote them out when the election comes. Now, I was watching a conference on YouTube this weekend, and Hester Pierce was in the conference. This guy is Timothy Masad. He's a former CFTC chairman, and he nails it. And I decided I would show you the video, right? What he says at the beginning. Now, what I did was, I'm not going to play this whole video, but I am going to play you this. Listen to what he says about Bernie Madoff and what regulators would not do. And then I put the part where Hinman mentions Ethereum free pass in his speech, and you tell me how freaking right over the target this is. Listen.
I mean, if Bernie Madoff, we all agree Bernie Madoff should have gone to jail, right? Well, if Bernie Madoff had designed some sort of autonomous software scheme that perpetuated his Ponzi scheme without him having to do anything once he launched it, it contacted additional investors automatically and, sent out letters and so forth, we wouldn't say, well, Bernie, there was no centralized entity operating it, so Bernie should, get off.
Okay, now I want you to think this through. Oh, it's decentralized, and so Bernie should get off. Look at what's been done for Ethereum for the last 3 years since the Bill Hinman speech. Oh, well, we think, what did he say at the beginning? And you're going to see it. He says, putting aside the fundraising. In other words, just like this guy just said, regulators would not let Bernie, because now it's decentralized, just let him off completely. Is that not what's been being done with Ethereum? Is that not? Are they not now? Oh, okay, it was decentralized. And so now nobody's going after Ethereum, anything DeFi related, even though Gary Gensler said that lending, if you're lending, that's a security. So we'll go after you. Is anybody going after there's only one person who has been bragging for the last 3 years about how he's issuing tokens at will. That's Joseph Lubin of Consensus, and he says we issue tokens all the time. Now they call them DAO, see, because it falls under the veil of decentralization because of a Bill Hinman speech that is just wrapped up in all kinds of controversy now. So have they not done the exact thing that this guy just said? Now I'm going to let you hear him say it again, and then you're going to roll right into the Bill Hinman speech, and you tell me that there are buzzards flying all over this stuff, folks.
I mean, if Bernie Madoff, we all agree Bernie Madoff should have gone to jail, right? Well, if Bernie Madoff had designed some sort of autonomous software scheme that perpetuated his Ponzi scheme without him having to do anything once he launched it, it contacted additional investors automatically and, sent out letters and so forth, we wouldn't say, well, Bernie, there was no centralized entity operating it, so Bernie should, get off. We wouldn't say that.
Putting aside the fundraising that accompanied the creation of Ether, based on my understanding of the present state of Ether, the Ethereum network, its decentralized structure, we believe current offers and sales of Ether are not securities transactions. As with Bitcoin, applying a disclosure regime, the disclosure regime of the federal securities laws to current transactions in Ether would seem to add little value.
Today, then that rolls into the guy that was the Bernie Madoff whistleblower. Now, there's a couple of videos that I put out, or 4 of them I put out this week, and you should go into my thread and watch them. This is James Wallace right here from Ripple, and you need, just so you understand what you own, I'm just going to play this one. It's 1 minute, 41 seconds. Watch this.
I know we're short on time here. No, I think there are geopolitical discussions going on at different levels. The US is keeping an eye on what's happening in China, for example, right, and understanding whether if the digital yuan starts getting used more broadly outside of China, does that have any impact on the dollar as the sort of currency of choice for global trade? So big topics like that. I think more regionally, we're seeing in Asia, some of the emerging countries that we're working with are seeing the ability. They're looking to collaborate with their neighbours and other regional players. And I think that's how some of these multi or cross-border CBDCs will start. I mean, a quick example, we're working in Bhutan And the driver there is partly financial inclusion, but partly to leapfrog the technology to get, into the best possible digital technology. As a wholesale, CBDC and cross-border, all part of the same strategy, right? And I think we'll see that, there's obviously trading partners that they work with. But then the other thing I'd say real quick is, we're kind of viewing the CBDC implementation in a country as a platform for innovation. The basic sort of, basic use cases around wholesale and retail as a cash replacement is sort of table stakes in our view. There are other use cases that the public sector will build, and blockchain can be quite helpful in as a platform for innovating. An example in Palau, we're looking at rolling out a P2P lending platform, a DeFi platform, on top of the CBDC platform, just as an example. But I will give Tommaso the last minute. I know we're short on time.
All right, and finally, I wanted to. Well, you know what? I might either show this or not show it in my next video. We're already at 20 minutes. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family that there is some shady stuff going on in this crypto business, and some of it is coming straight from the regulators.